Здравствуйте, меня зовут Наталья. Hello, my name's Natalia, and this is a weekly Russian lesson. In today's lesson, we'll talk about vowel reduction rules for standard Russian pronunciation. So what am I talking about when I say standard Russian pronunciation? As you know, Russia is the largest country in the world with a huge Russian-speaking population. And you can imagine that on such huge territory, there is a number of dialects and accents. To name just two of the most prominent ones, it's northern and southern accents. So what version of Russian am I so insistently trying to teach you here? Well, that's the official Russian, the standard Russian, and it's based on Moscow dialect. Two major characteristics of standard Russian are so-called AKANYE and IKANYE. And AKANYE literally means saying ah. And we are saying ah instead of o every time this vowel is unaccented, when it's not stressed in a word. And the second word, IKANYE, means saying E. And we pronounce letters ya and ye in unstressed position when they're unaccented. We pronounce them as E. So these are two major rules right here. What is stress? Stress is the relative emphasis given to some syllables in a word. And in Russian, no matter how long the word is, we stress just one vowel. The stress falls on one syllable. That is different stress pattern from English. In English, for the longer words, normally more than 3 syllables, there's a primary and a secondary stress. And what this secondary stress does, it evens the speech energy, so there are no such big peaks and valleys in a speech. Well, Russian in this sense is much more dramatic. We put a lot of energy into just one syllable. Let's look at two examples. The first word is characteristics. Characteristics. The stress falls on the first and on the fourth syllable, so there are two stresses. And the Russian word характеристика. Характеристика. Here the stress falls on vowel E on the fourth syllable. And just because there was this big energy build-up to put all the stress there, you might have noticed that the third syllable preceding the fourth, right before the stress, also shares in this energy. Характеристика. Let's take another example. I just like to pronounce those long English words. Pronunciation. Pronunciation. So here's the second and the fourth syllables are stressed. And Russian. Произношение. Произношение. Stress falls on the fourth syllable. So from these examples, we see that English pronunciation is more even, is more wave-like, and Russian is more peaks and valleys with all energy concentrated on one syllable. And as you can imagine, stressed vowels becomes more distinct, it becomes longer, and it's pronounced with more tension. Russian vowels are all the same length by themselves. There are no long and short vowels like in English. Only stress makes them longer, and of course in the unstressed position they're reduced. They become shorter. In 2 previous lessons we learned to pronounce Russian vowels. There are 10 vowel letters denoted. Let's see how they behave in unstressed position. Well, first of all, Russian letter yo, sound yo, is never reduced because it is always stressed. Letter yo, that's the rule, it is always stressed. A couple examples of words: мед, honey, and елка, it's a Christmas tree or fir tree. These 4 sounds, I, U, U, I, only become shorter and less tense. No other changes happen to them. Listen to these vowels in stressed and unstressed position. First vowel is I. Имя, I is stressed. Кино, I is unstressed. And you see that in the second word, I is only slightly shorter than in the first word. У, умы. Ю, юг, южнее. И, было, была. From these examples, you can see that the difference between stressed and unstressed sounds is very noticeable. It is simply a difference in speech energy. You really don't need to do anything, just put the stress correctly, just stress the correct vowels, and that will take care of the rest. 5 remaining vowels, A, O, Ya, Ye, and E, undergo changes in pronunciation in unstressed position. Next time, in our next lesson, we'll be looking at those sounds, learning to pronounce them. I will give you all the rules and all the examples. But for today, this is all. Thank you for watching. I will see you soon. We'll continue talking about reduction next time. До свидания. Goodbye.